In every generation, people search for the secret of success, chasing after strategies, tools, and techniques, yet overlooking the most powerful gift already within them, their own brain. The mind was designed not as a cage, but as a weapon, not as a burden, but as the very vessel of destiny. Hidden within its circuits is a formula, one that governs sleep, focus, and achievement. Sleep is not merely the body lying still, it is the sacred restoration of the soul and the most powerful weapon the brain possesses for renewal. In the silence of the night, when the world grows quiet, the mind enters its most divine workshop, where memories are organized, emotions are purified, and the circuits of thought are rewired for strength. Without this rhythm of rest, the mind becomes clouded, the heart grows heavy, and the spirit drifts into confusion. But with deep quality sleep, clarity rises like the dawn, and the brain awakens with energy to face every battle of the day. It is no accident that creation itself was written in cycles of day and night, for the Creator knew that humanity must be given this gift of restoration, this unseen sanctuary where the brain is cleansed of the chaos of yesterday and prepared for the victories of tomorrow. When sleep is honored, it acts like armor for the mind. It shields against fear, it tempers anger, it balances desire, it sharpens focus. The circuits of stress that seem overwhelming in the light of day are recalibrated in the darkness of rest, reminding you that you were never meant to fight your battles on depleted strength. The mind that sleeps well becomes resilient, able to bend without breaking, able to face pressure without shattering, and resilience is the soil in which success takes root. The one who neglects sleep does not simply lose hours of rest, they lose the clarity to make wise decisions, the patience to endure trials, the focus to move with purpose, the strength to carry the weight of vision. The one who treats sleep as weakness finds themselves weakened because they have cut themselves off from the very source of renewal God designed for them. But the one who values sleep as sacred finds their mind sharpened like a blade, their heart steadied like a rock, their spirit lifted like an eagle rising on the wind. Sleep is more than physical recovery, it is spiritual alignment. In sleep, the brain consolidates lessons, embedding them into circuits that guide future actions. Every moment of discipline you practiced in the day is etched deeper into your being at night. Every prayer whispered in faith, every act of courage, every word of gratitude, all are replayed, strengthened, sealed into the foundation of who you are becoming. Without this process, learning is shallow, habits fade, and strength dissolves. But with it, progress is multiplied, resilience grows, and vision becomes clearer. Sleep is the sacred space where humility meets power, where surrender meets transformation. To rest is to admit that you are not self-sufficient, that you cannot carry the weight of life on your own, that you must allow your mind and spirit to be renewed by forces beyond your control. And in that surrender lies great power, because it allows the divine rhythm of creation to restore you. If you would rise above mediocrity, if you would command focus, if you would walk in the fullness of success, you must see sleep not as wasted time, but as holy time. It is the training ground where clarity is forged, where resilience is born, where strength is multiplied, where the brain is prepared to conquer the challenges of life with a spirit that is rested, a mind that is sharp, and a soul that is unshaken. Focus is not a mystery, nor is it a gift given to a chosen few. It is a state that the brain can be trained to enter, a sacred alignment of mind, body, and spirit that allows a person to see clearly, act decisively, and move with unstoppable momentum. In a world filled with endless distractions, where voices pull us in every direction and temptations clamor for our attention, focus becomes the rarest and most valuable treasure. It is the ability to silence the noise, to command the mind, to set the eyes upon a goal and refuse to turn aside. This is not something weak minds stumble upon by chance. This is something the determined build with discipline, with practice, with faith. When you focus, you give power to your purpose. The brain circuits, scattered in every direction, become unified like an army under one command. And the energy that was once wasted on distraction becomes concentrated on progress. A single beam of light, when scattered, cannot pierce even the darkness of a room, but that same light, focused into a laser, can cut through steel. In the same way, your mind, when focused, can cut through barriers that once seemed impossible to overcome. This is why the ancients spoke of fixing the eyes upon what is unseen, not the fleeting distractions of the present moment, because they understood that what you behold consistently shapes what you become. Focus is trained in the choices you make daily. Every time you resist the pull of distraction and return your attention to what matters, you are strengthening the circuits of determination in your brain. Every time you choose to stay present in prayer, in study, in work, in love, you are deepening the grooves of focus that will carry you forward when the storms of life try to scatter you. And just as muscles grow with resistance, focus grows with struggle. The difficulty of returning your attention again and again is not a sign of weakness. It is the very process by which strength is formed. There is a holy weight to focus because it is the act of honoring what is most important, refusing to give your life to what is meaningless. The enemy of greatness is not failure, it is distraction. Failure, when met with focus, becomes a teacher that refines you. But distraction robs you silently, stealing your hours, your energy, your purpose, until nothing of value remains. To focus is to rebel against this theft, To declare that your mind, your time, your life will be given only to what truly matters. The brain was designed with the ability to narrow in, to block out the noise, to sustain attention, but it requires your partnership. It requires you to set boundaries with your environment, to guard your eyes and ears, to create sacred space where only what lifts you higher is allowed entry. Focus thrives in discipline, in repetition, in the daily choice to aim your attention toward the vision planted in your heart. And when you master focus, success ceases to be a distant dream and becomes an inevitable reality, because the one who can direct their mind can direct their destiny. The one who can command attention can command achievement. Focus is not just mental strength, it is spiritual alignment, the narrowing of the self so that the fullness of your purpose can pour through without being scattered, without being diminished, without being lost. Morning and evening are not ordinary hours. They are gates of power. Sacred thresholds where the brain and spirit are most open to being shaped. What you allow in these moments sets the rhythm for your entire day and writes the script of your night. In the morning, when the light first rises and creation awakens, your brain is like soft clay, ready to be molded. If you fill it with distraction, noise, and chaos, it hardens into weakness. But if you fill it with discipline, stillness, and vision, it hardens into strength. This is why the first act upon rising must not be surrendering to the world's demands, but aligning with a higher purpose, because what enters your mind in those first minutes will echo across every decision you make that day. The morning is not just about productivity. It is about consecration, exposing your eyes to the light, moving your body, breathing deeply, setting intention. These are not small rituals. They are commands to the brain, signals that awaken circuits of focus, energy, and clarity. The Creator designed the body to respond to these rhythms. Light tells the brain when to release hormones of alertness. Movement floods the body with energy. Stillness calms the mind for clarity. To neglect this is to begin the day in weakness. To honor it is to step into the day armored with strength. And just as the morning sets the tone, the evening closes the gate. What you dwell on before sleep writes itself into your nervous system, echoing through the night, embedding itself into your subconscious. If you end with fear, with anger, with chaos, your brain carries that into sleep, corrupting the very restoration meant to empower you. But if you end with gratitude, with peace, with vision, then your sleep becomes more than rest. It becomes a sacred rehearsal of success. The thoughts you choose at night are like seeds, and in the soil of sleep they grow into the habits and clarity that will shape your future. This rhythm of morning and evening is a divine design. It is no accident that Scripture speaks of evening and morning as the first day, because each cycle is a beginning and an ending, a death and resurrection, a chance to reset your mind, your heart, your purpose. Too many stumble through these hours blindly, treating them as ordinary, yet they are the hinges upon which destiny swings. The one who owns their mornings does not walk into the day reacting, but commanding, leading, directing the flow of their energy. The one who guards their evenings does not toss and turn with regret, but rests in the peace of preparation. Together, these gates become weapons against distraction, exhaustion, and failure. They are sacred hours when the brain is most pliable, most vulnerable, most powerful, and they belong to those who claim them with intention. When you honor the morning and evening as holy, you rise above the drift of mediocrity. You begin each day with clarity, and you end each day with peace. Your brain, your body, your spirit align with the rhythm of creation itself, and you move forward not by accident, but by design, not in weakness, but in the fullness of strength. Light and movement are not luxuries for the body. They are commands written into the very fabric of your brain's design. The moment light touches your eyes in the morning, it speaks directly to the deepest centers of your nervous system, igniting circuits that govern energy, mood, and attention. This is not symbolic. It is biological law. Light is the language of awakening, the divine switch that turns on clarity, the sacred signal that tells your brain, it is time to rise, it is time to move, it is time to focus. When you honor that signal, you enter the day in alignment with the way you were created. When you ignore it, you drift into fog, fatigue, and distraction, wondering why energy seems to slip through your fingers. Movement works hand in hand with light. When you move your body, whether in still, deliberate stretches or powerful, vigorous actions, you are not simply exercising muscles, you are awakening the brain. Each movement pumps life through your bloodstream, carrying oxygen and nutrients into the circuits that govern focus and clarity. The body was never meant for stagnation. It was designed to rise, to walk, to stretch, to push against resistance. This design is not only physical, it is spiritual. To move your body at the start of the day is to declare victory before the battle has even begun. It is to say with your actions, I will not stumble into this day weak. I will command it with strength. Even science now confirms what the ancients already knew, that light and movement together create a rhythm of life. Step into the sun and your brain is flooded with signals that sharpen awareness. Move your body and your mind follows alert, engaged, alive. Neglect them and you drift half asleep through hours meant for building your destiny. Too many search for motivation in words and willpower. Yet the most powerful motivation is etched into creation itself. Expose your eyes to light, move your body with intention, and the brain will awaken into focus. But there is more here than biology. There is holy symbolism. Light has always represented truth, clarity, divine guidance. Movement has always represented obedience, action, forward momentum. When you combine them, you are not just fueling your brain, you are aligning yourself with a higher order. You are stepping out of shadows into light, out of passivity into power. This is why the scriptures declare, "Arise, shine, for your light has come." It is a call not only to the spirit, but to the body to awaken and move in harmony with the Creator's rhythm. Every morning is a battlefield. If you stumble into it with dim light and a motionless body, you hand your strength over before the fight has even begun. But if you open your eyes to the rising light, if you stretch and move and honor the design placed within you, then the day bends toward your favor. The enemy of greatness is not failure. It is sluggishness, distraction, the fog of an unawakened mind. Light pierces that fog. Movement drives it away. Together they are the formula of energy, the fuel of attention, the keys to unlocking the potential hidden in your brain. And when you live in this rhythm day after day, light flooding your eyes and movement stirring your body, you cease to wander through life half awake. You begin to rise with power, walk with clarity, and command the hours before you. Because your brain and spirit are aligned with the very forces that govern life itself. Stress was never meant to be the enemy. It was meant to be the fire. When pressure rises, when the heart races, when the breath shortens, these are not signs that you are breaking. They are signs that you are alive, that your brain and body are summoning their strength for the battle ahead. Stress is not the weight that crushes you. It is the heat that forges you, but only if you learn to master it. Too many run from stress, numb it, or curse it, yet hidden within it is fuel. The same surge that overwhelms can, when directed, become the very power that carries you through. The brain was designed with this in mind. When challenges arise, it floods the body with adrenaline and energy, preparing you to act, to move, to conquer. But without direction, this energy scatters, turns to anxiety, and weakens resolve. With discipline, with breath, with mindset, it becomes a sacred force, a sharpening edge. Breath is the key, for it is the bridge between chaos and calm, between the racing heart and the focused mind. Slow it down, command it, and you will command the very storm within you. Inhale strength, exhale fear, and watch as panic dissolves into power. Mindset is the second key. If you see stress as punishment, you will shrink beneath it. But if you see it as preparation, you will rise because of it. The greatest warriors, prophets, and leaders of history were not those who escaped stress, but those who bent it to their will, transforming burden into blessing, trial into triumph. Every wave of pressure they endured became proof that they were chosen for more. And you too must see stress not as an obstacle, but as evidence that you are being called higher. There is a holy wisdom in this design. Fire refines gold, storms shape the strongest trees, pressure forms the diamond. Why should your spirit and mind be any different? Every moment of stress is an invitation to rise, a reminder that you are alive, that within you lies resilience greater than the weight pressing upon you. The Creator did not form you fragile. He formed you to endure, to transform, to overcome. Stress is simply the messenger that you are entering the arena of growth. If you let stress master you, it will consume your focus, break your clarity, and keep you small. But if you master it, if you breathe through it and redirect its energy, you become unshakable. Your brain learns to sharpen under pressure. Your spirit learns to stand in storms. Your body learns to carry more than before. Stress ceases to be the thief of your peace and becomes the trainer of your strength. And when you walk this path daily, when you no longer curse stress but welcome it as fire for the forge, then fear loses its grip on you. You cease to be fragile in the face of life's demands. You rise, you endure, you conquer. Not because stress disappeared, but because you discovered the sacred truth hidden within it, that every wave of pressure is not a curse but a crown waiting to be claimed. Success is not built in grand gestures. It is carved in the hidden hours, in the smallest of choices repeated with devotion until they shape the very architecture of your brain. The Creator designed your mind with the gift of plasticity, the ability to rewire, to reshape, to transform through consistent action. Each decision, each habit, each act, no matter how small, leaves an imprint like a sculptor striking stone. A single strike seems insignificant, but repeated daily it unveils a masterpiece. In the same way, success is not the thunderclap of one great moment, but the quiet rhythm of thousands of unseen victories. Your brain thrives on patterns. What you do with consistency becomes what you are. A few minutes of stillness in prayer or reflection each morning trains the mind for clarity. A short walk in the light each day primes your body for focus. Choosing discipline over distraction in the smallest tasks teaches your brain to obey your spirit's command. This is the divine formula. Repeated actions become habits, habits become identity, and identity becomes destiny. You are not merely acting, you are programming your very being for success. The holy texts remind us, he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. This is not just spiritual wisdom, but biological truth. The brain does not distinguish between small and large acts. It only knows repetition. Each time you choose focus over distraction, diligence over laziness, truth over lies, you strengthen circuits that will one day carry you through trials far greater. Do not despise the small, for the small is the seed of the great. Think of the farmer sowing seeds in faith. He does not look for harvest the next morning, but with patience, day after day, he waters, he tends, he waits. The brain is the same. You sow thoughts, you water them with action, and in time they bloom into character, discipline, resilience, and success. Too many quit before the harvest because they cannot see the growth beneath the soil. But those who persist, those who stay faithful in the daily acts, are the ones who reap the abundance of a transformed life. There is sacred power in knowing that greatness is not beyond reach. It is built into every choice of today. The mind was designed to reward repetition, to strengthen whatever you feed it most. Feed it distraction, and you will live scattered. Feed it discipline, and you will walk in focus. Feed it fear, and you will shrink. Feed it courage, and you will rise. It is not chance, it is law, and those who align with it walk in strength. When you understand this, you stop searching for shortcuts and begin to honor the process. You stop waiting for the perfect day to begin and start with the day you already have. You rise with the light. You move with intention. You breathe through the storms. You sow the small seeds of discipline, and over time, you become unshakable. Success is not granted in a single moment. It is revealed in the accumulation of thousands of moments when you chose rightly, when you stayed consistent, when you trusted the design woven into your brain and your spirit. And it is in those small daily victories that the hidden formula of success is finally unveiled.